Imagine stepping into your garden early in the morning. The air is cool, the plants are still wet with dew. Everything seems calm and peaceful. But then you notice something unusual, a slow movement in the grass. At first it looks like a shadow. Then you realize what it is: a snake. For many homeowners, seeing a snake in the yard feels shocking. But what most people never realize is that snakes rarely appear randomly. In many cases, something in the environment is quietly attracting them. And surprisingly, certain plants can play a role in that. Not because snakes eat the plants themselves, but because those plants create the kind of environment snakes naturally prefer. Some provide deep shade, where snakes can hide during hot days. Some attract insects, frogs, or rodents that snakes hunt for food. And others grow so densely that they create perfect shelter where a snake can move unnoticed. The surprising part is that many of these plants are extremely common in backyard gardens. People plant them for decoration, for shade, or to attract wildlife. Without realizing, they might also be making their garden more appealing to snakes. Today, we're going to explore 10 plants that can unintentionally attract snakes to your garden. Some of them might already be growing just a few steps away from your door. And the last plant on this list is especially surprising, because millions of people plant it specifically to make their garden more beautiful. To understand why certain plants can attract snakes, it helps to first understand how snakes choose where to live. Snakes are not interested in human homes themselves. What they are actually searching for are 3 simple things that every wild animal needs to survive: shelter, food, and a safe place to hide. If an area provides those 3 conditions, snakes may naturally explore it. Gardens can sometimes create the perfect environment without homeowners realizing it. Thick plants can create cool, shaded spaces where snakes can escape the heat of the sun. Certain plants attract insects, frogs, or small rodents. And those animals are common prey for many snake species. Other plants grow in dense clusters that provide excellent cover, allowing snakes to move around without being easily seen. Wildlife experts often point out that snakes are very sensitive to habitat conditions. Even small changes in vegetation can make an area either attractive or completely uninteresting to them. That means the way a garden is designed can quietly influence what types of animals visit it. The plants you're about to see are not dangerous on their own. Many of them are beautiful and widely used in landscaping. But under the right conditions, they can create environments that snakes find comfortable enough to explore. And once you understand how that works, you may start looking at your garden in a completely different way. One of the biggest misconceptions about snakes is that they actively try to approach human homes. In reality, snakes usually arrive for a much simpler reason. They are following food. In the wild, snakes spend most of their time searching for prey such as mice, small birds, frogs, insects, and lizards. If an area consistently attracts those animals, it naturally becomes interesting to snakes as well. Gardens can sometimes become perfect hunting grounds without homeowners realizing it. Fallen fruit may attract rodents. Flowering plants can attract insects. Water features can attract frogs. And dense vegetation can create shaded pathways where snakes can move without being exposed. From a snake's perspective, a garden that provides food, shelter, and protection is an ideal place to rest during the day or hunt during cooler hours. That is why some homes seem to experience frequent snake sightings while others in the same neighborhood rarely see them. Often, the difference comes down to small environmental details. And surprisingly, certain plants can play a quiet but important role in shaping that environment. The first plant on our list is a perfect example because many gardeners plant it specifically to cover the ground quickly. Without realizing, it can create one of the most comfortable hiding spots for snakes. Plant number 10 might look completely harmless. In fact, many gardeners plant it specifically because it makes a yard look neat and full. Ground cover plants are popular because they spread quickly across soil, forming a thick green layer that can replace grass or fill empty garden spaces. Plants like ivy, creeping thyme, pachysandra, and other low-growing varieties are often used to create this effect. But what many people don't realize is that these dense layers of vegetation can also create ideal hiding spots for small animals, and snakes often take advantage of that. Ground cover plants grow very close to the soil, and when they spread across large areas, they create a cool and shaded environment underneath the leaves. During hot weather, snakes actively search for places like this where they can regulate their body temperature. The thick leaves also make it difficult for predators such as birds of prey to see them. In other words, from a snake's perspective, dense ground cover can feel like a safe shelter. Wildlife observers have noticed that snakes sometimes rest beneath these plants during the daytime, especially in warm regions where shaded areas are limited. This doesn't mean ground cover plants automatically bring snakes into a garden. But if snakes are already present in the surrounding environment, these plants can make your yard feel like a comfortable place to hide. And the next plant on our list attracts snakes in a completely different way, because instead of providing shelter, it attracts something snakes love to hunt. Plant number 9 attracts snakes in a much more indirect way. At first glance, it actually seems like one of the most beneficial plants you can grow in a garden. Berry-producing plants such as blackberry bushes, raspberry bushes, elderberry, and similar fruiting shrubs are loved by gardeners because they provide fresh fruit and attract birds. But that wildlife activity can sometimes create a chain reaction. When berries ripen and fall to the ground, they often attract small animals. Rodents such as mice and rats are especially drawn to fallen fruit because it provides an easy food source. Birds may gather around the plants as well, searching for ripe berries. And where small animals gather, predators may eventually follow. Snakes are opportunistic hunters. They don't search for plants themselves, but they are very sensitive to places where prey animals regularly appear. If a berry bush consistently attracts rodents or birds, it can quietly become a hunting zone. Wildlife researchers have observed that areas with dense fruiting shrubs sometimes show increased activity from small predators, including certain snake species. The thick branches of berry plants can also create shaded areas close to the ground, which adds another layer of shelter. This combination of food sources and hiding spots can make berry bushes more interesting to snakes than many gardeners realize. But the next plant on our list creates an even better hiding place, because its long, blade-like leaves grow in thick clusters that snakes can easily slip between without being seen. Plant number 8 is extremely popular in modern landscaping. Many homeowners plant it because it adds height, movement, and a natural look to gardens. Ornamental grasses such as pampas grass, fountain grass, or miscanthus are often used along fences, walkways, or garden borders. These grasses grow tall and thick, forming large clumps of narrow leaves that sway in the wind. From a design perspective, they can make a garden look elegant and natural. But from a snake's perspective, these plants can provide something very valuable. Cover. Tall ornamental grasses grow densely at the base, creating a protected space close to the ground where animals can move without being easily seen. The narrow leaves also break up visibility, making it difficult for predators to spot movement inside the plant. For snakes, this kind of vegetation can feel like a safe corridor where they can travel through the garden unnoticed. During hot days, the shaded interior of these grasses can also stay cooler than surrounding areas, offering a comfortable resting spot. Wildlife experts often mention that snakes tend to prefer environments where they can move while remaining partially hidden. Thick ornamental grasses sometimes provide exactly that type of environment. Again, planting these grasses doesn't guarantee that snakes will appear, but in regions where snakes already exist, dense vegetation like this can make a yard feel more welcoming to them. And the next plant on our list attracts snakes for a completely different reason, because it attracts insects in huge numbers. Plant number 7 might be one of the most surprising plants on this list because gardeners usually plant it for a very pleasant reason. Fragrant flowering plants such as jasmine, honeysuckle, lavender and gardenia are widely loved for their beautiful scent and colourful blooms. These plants are often placed near patios, entrances or walkways so people can enjoy their fragrance while spending time outside. But these same flowers can attract large numbers of insects. Bees, butterflies, beetles and other pollinators are naturally drawn to the sweet nectar produced by these plants. And where insects gather, other small creatures may appear as well. Frogs, lizards and small insect-eating animals often visit areas with high insect activity. For snakes, these animals can represent potential prey. This creates a subtle food chain effect. The plants attract insects, the insects attract small animals, and predators sometimes follow the same path. In addition to attracting insects, many fragrant flowering plants grow in thick clusters of leaves and stems. This can provide shaded areas close to the ground, where snakes may rest during warm afternoons. So while these plants are beautiful and beneficial for pollinators, they can also contribute to an environment that supports a wide range of wildlife. And the next plant on our list is particularly interesting because it doesn't just attract insects. It attracts something that snakes hunt even more frequently. Plant number 6 often appears in gardens that include ponds, fountains, or decorative water features. Water-loving plants such as water lilies, cattails, reeds, and other aquatic or semi-aquatic plants are commonly used to create beautiful, natural-looking ponds. They add greenery, improve water quality, and make backyard ponds feel more alive. But water features can also attract a variety of animals. Frogs, toads, insects, and small fish are naturally drawn to water. These animals thrive in moist environments and often gather around ponds or wet soil. And many snake species happen to hunt exactly these kinds of animals. Frogs and small fish are especially common prey for certain types of snakes. If a garden pond consistently attracts amphibians, it may eventually attract predators that feed on them. Water-loving plants can also create thick clusters of stems and leaves along the edge of the pond. These areas provide shade and hiding places where snakes can rest while remaining hidden. Wildlife observers often note that the edges of ponds and wetlands are some of the most active places for animal movement in nature. In a backyard setting, dense aquatic plants can sometimes recreate those same conditions. This doesn't mean every garden pond will attract snakes. But when food sources and hiding places are present together, wildlife may begin to explore the area more often. And the next plant on our list creates a completely different kind of attraction, because it can quietly bring one of the most common snake prey animals directly into your garden. Plant number 5 is one of the most cheerful and recognizable plants people grow in their gardens. Sunflowers are loved for their tall stems and large golden blooms that naturally turn toward the sun. Many gardeners plant them simply because they look beautiful and brighten up outdoor spaces. But sunflowers can also attract a surprising amount of wildlife. As the flowers mature, they begin producing seeds that many animals find irresistible. Birds are especially attracted to sunflower seeds, often gathering around the plants to feed. But birds are not the only animals interested in them. Small rodents such as mice and squirrels are also drawn to fallen sunflower seeds that collect on the ground. These tiny animals see the seeds as an easy and reliable food source, and where rodents gather, predators sometimes follow. Many snake species hunt small mammals like mice because they provide a high-energy meal. If a garden regularly attracts rodents because of seed-producing plants, it may also become interesting to snakes searching for prey. Sunflowers can also grow quite tall and dense when planted in groups. At the base of these plants, shaded soil and fallen leaves can create small hiding areas where animals move unseen. While sunflowers themselves are not dangerous, the wildlife activity they attract can sometimes create the kind of environment snakes naturally investigate. And the next plant on our list might be even more surprising. because many people plant it specifically to create privacy around their homes. Plant number 4 is something many homeowners plant for a very practical reason. Privacy. Thick hedge plants such as boxwood, privet, holly and dense shrubs are often used to create natural walls around gardens and property lines. They block views, reduce noise and give outdoor spaces a sense of security. But these dense hedges can also create environments that wildlife finds very appealing. Hedge plants grow tightly together, forming thick layers of branches and leaves that can be difficult to see through. At ground level, the interior of a hedge is often shaded, cool, and protected from wind. For small animals, this can become a safe hiding place. Rodents, lizards, insects, and even small birds sometimes use hedges as shelter. And where these animals hide, predators may eventually investigate. Snakes are known to explore dense vegetation because it provides both protection and opportunities to find prey. The thick structure of hedge plants can allow a snake to move along the base of the hedge while remaining mostly hidden. This doesn't mean every hedge plant will attract snakes, but large, dense hedges can sometimes create a quiet corridor where wildlife feels comfortable moving through the garden. And the next plant on our list attracts snakes for a reason that surprises many people, because it produces something that small animals love to eat. Plant number 3 often appears in gardens where people grow their own food. Vegetable plants such as tomatoes, squash, zucchini, and cucumbers are extremely common in backyard gardens. They produce fresh food and are rewarding to grow. But vegetable gardens sometimes attract more wildlife than people expect. These plants usually grow in nutrient-rich soil, often mixed with compost or organic matter. That fertile soil attracts insects, worms, and other small creatures that thrive in moist environments. Those small creatures then attract animals that feed on them. Frogs, lizards, and small rodents may begin visiting vegetable gardens because they find plenty of food there. In addition, vegetables sometimes produce fallen fruit that sits on the ground. Rotting vegetables can attract insects and rodents searching for an easy meal. And once again, this creates a natural food chain. Where insects and rodents gather, predators may eventually appear. For snakes, vegetable gardens can become interesting places to explore because they may offer both prey and shaded areas between the plants. Large leaves from plants like squash or zucchini can also create cool hiding spaces near the soil. While vegetable gardens are wonderful for producing food, they can unintentionally create environments that attract a wide range of wildlife. And the next plant on our list attracts snakes in a completely different way, because it grows extremely thick at ground level and creates one of the most comfortable hiding places in a garden. Plant number 2 is a plant many people grow specifically to make their homes look more natural and beautiful. Climbing vines such as English ivy, creeping ivy, and similar fast-growing vines are often used to cover walls, fences, and garden structures. These plants spread quickly and create thick layers of green leaves that can transform plain surfaces into lush, living walls. But the same dense growth that makes vines attractive in landscaping can also create excellent hiding places for wildlife. When ivy spreads across the ground or climbs along walls, it often forms very thick layers of leaves and stems. Beneath these layers, the environment stays cool, shaded, and protected from wind. For small animals, this can feel like a safe place to hide. Rodents sometimes use ivy-covered areas to move between hiding spots while remaining concealed from predators. And if rodents begin using those pathways regularly, predators may follow. Snakes are known to explore dense vegetation because it allows them to travel while staying hidden. Ivy growing along fences, walls, or the ground can create narrow spaces where snakes can move without being easily seen. Wildlife observers have occasionally noted that thick ivy growth can become a quiet corridor for small animals moving through a yard. This doesn't mean ivy automatically attracts snakes, But when dense vegetation combines with prey animals and shaded shelter, it can make the environment more appealing to wildlife. And the final plant on our list might be the most surprising of all, because millions of people plant it specifically to attract birds and make their garden feel more alive. The final plant on this list is one that many gardeners grow with the best intentions: plants that attract birds. Species such as mulberry trees, serviceberry, dogwood and other bird-friendly plants are often planted specifically to bring beautiful birds into the garden. Watching birds visit a backyard can be relaxing and enjoyable. These plants produce berries or seeds that birds love, turning the garden into a lively feeding area. But attracting birds can also attract other animals. Fallen seeds and fruit often collect on the ground beneath these plants. That food may attract rodents such as mice and squirrels, looking for an easy meal. In addition, bird activity can sometimes attract insects and other small creatures. This creates a small ecosystem centered around the plant. And as we've seen throughout this list, where prey animals gather, predators sometimes follow. Certain snake species occasionally explore areas where rodents or small birds are active because they represent potential food sources. Bird-feeding plants can also create shaded branches and thick vegetation where small animals move around unnoticed. This combination of food sources and shelter can quietly turn a garden into a place that attracts a variety of wildlife. Of course, birds themselves are wonderful to have around, and these plants are not harmful, but understanding how different plants influence the environment can help homeowners design gardens that feel both beautiful and balanced. The truth is, snakes are not invading gardens without a reason. In most cases, they are simply responding to the environment around them. A garden that provides shelter, shade, and a steady supply of prey can naturally become attractive to many types of wildlife. And sometimes, the plants we choose for beauty, privacy, or food can quietly shape that environment. Dense vegetation can create hidden pathways. Fruit or seeds can attract small animals. Water features can bring frogs and insects. All of these small factors can combine to create a place that feels comfortable not only for birds and beneficial wildlife, but sometimes for snakes as well. This doesn't mean these plants are bad or dangerous. Many of them are beautiful additions to a healthy garden ecosystem. But understanding how plants influence animal behavior can help you make smarter choices about where and how they are planted. Simple adjustments such as trimming dense vegetation, cleaning fallen fruit, or keeping certain plants farther from entryways can make a big difference. Nature is full of complex relationships between plants and animals. And when you understand those relationships, you begin to see your garden not just as a collection of plants, but as a living ecosystem where every small detail matters.